Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, weatherweb.net, and it is Friday the 9th of January. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead video, and as it's Friday, that means we've got all the very latest information for you from the Japanese Met Agency longer range model. So this is the week 1 forecast then. This takes us from today, so it's going forward from the 9th of January up to the 16th, so up to next Friday. And it shows here the UK is underneath here. I know it's quite difficult to see. You can probably see Iberia sticking out there, so that makes it easier for you to try and locate where we are. But what this is showing, look, is a very strong jet stream coming in across the Atlantic, screaming in through the UK. It's that that's dominating at the moment, and it's that that's going to bring us a very windy and an unsettled week. So the JMA is certainly picking up on that feature. What it's also doing, interestingly, it's got this ridge building off the western coast of the States, look, pushes the air further north and then brings in colder air all the time, down from the pole into the back edge of this jet. So it's constantly pumping cooler air into the jet, strengthening it all the time. And also we've got warmer air that moves up from the Gulf of Mexico from the south. So you've got that combination, that sharp gradient of warmer air to the south, colder air to the north, and that continues to strengthen the jet stream through the course of the week. Now, I've been hinting, hadn't I, of things turning cooler as we get into the middle to the back end of next week. JMA is starting to show that as well. This is the forecast for week 2. So this goes from next Friday, so this is going from the 16th through to the 23rd of January. And look, the ridge is over the eastern parts of the States by then, pushing flow south-eastwards into the Atlantic. What that then does is it strengthens the trough through the UK and across much of Central and Western Europe, and it brings in these winds more from a north and northwesterly direction. So it's certainly seeing the idea of pressure building down towards the south and those winds turning into the north or the northwest. So I think this idea of things cooling down is one to be built on. I think it turns more wintry as well. I'm not sure it's going to turn widespread wintry conditions, but I do think that the incidence of snow across Scotland, probably across the hills of northern England, also Wales, is going to be increased. And I wouldn't really rule out the idea of perhaps a snow event further south as well, as we get through the kind of the middle stages of that, or the early stages of that week. So we're talking around the 20th, 21st, I think, is the period that we've probably got to watch. Now, weeks 3 and 4, continuing to show a cool flow across the UK. Remember, this is going to go from the 23rd of January through to the 5th of February. And this one, look, remember, this is for 2 weeks, but there's the ridge over the eastern states, or the higher than normal heights. And here are the trough, the lower than normal heights, moving by then into Scandinavia. Now, behind that system, we've still got a cool west and northwest and northwesterly flow. And do you remember that situation we had in the early part of December when it turned cooler then? I actually think we could see a return to that. So it stays cool, and it's colder than what we've had. But I'm not going to say it's, 1963, 1947, or even sort of a 1981, 82 situation. It's just a cold spell of wintry, normal winter weather that is probably going to produce some wintry weather for most. I don't think it's particularly long-lived, and I think it's this period from about the 20th through to the 30th that we need to be watching closely. Now, that's what the JMA says. This is what the CFS has been going for in its latest update this morning. This is the surface maximum minimum temperature forecast for 45 days. This is for Birmingham. And look, here's the milder weather that we're seeing over the weekend into the early part of next week. But then look at that sharp fall off in temperatures before it rises again for the early parts of February, or the very end of January, early part of February. Now, this isn't dramatically cold. These are kind of maxes of 3s and 4s. But you see a few cold nights in there. And I think this is probably fairly realistic. That dip in temperature goes cold, goes probably below normal for the time of year, and then we see an increase in temperature after that, and probably it's a period of cold weather lasting for 8 to 10 days, something of that order. So it's not one to be panicking about. It's not one to be thinking this is going to be widespread snowfall that lasts for weeks. I think it's one that you've got to look at in the context of normal winter weather, and that there could be some snow around for some. So if that affects you, then you need to be aware of that. And the CFS predictions looking like this. Week 1, low the normal heights north, high to the south. There's the jet stream look screaming through as we've just seen on the JMA. Week 2, so going from the 15th of January to the 21st of January, here's the trough look. We saw it on the JMA, didn't we? Bringing in that more northwesterly flow. So the remarkable consistency here between the longer range models. And then into weeks 3 and 4, there's the majority of the trough look across to the east of Europe, across the northern parts of Russia. Still at the trough through the UK, higher than normal heights out towards the west, trough in northern parts of the US, and there's the northerly flow look coming down through the UK. This is our cooler conditions. And then week 4 looking like that. Look, still got this northerly flow, so it still keeps things cold. The CFS tries to right at the end of February, although some hints here of milder weather coming in. Now, if we look at the week by week CFS temperatures, and you can get this from the weather website, just go to charts, then click on CFS, and you'll see there the mean weekly temperatures. This is week 1, so this is going up to the 15th of January. And you notice here, look, mean temperatures typically sort of 3 to 8 degrees, which is what you'd expect at this time of year. Now, week 2, which is from the 16th to the 22nd of January, notable drop-off in temperatures. Look, 2 to 6 degrees generally. And then week 3, take this up to the 29th of January, distinctively colder. We're looking here, look, 0 to 4 degrees, much, much colder across Eastern Europe as well. But that's not lasting long, because by week 4, temperatures starting to recover somewhat, and again we're back up to sort of 2 to 8 degrees. So it's kind of in line with what the JMA is hinting at as well. So I think we've got quite a clear story, haven't we, on the longer ranges here. Things turning cooler next week, things possibly turning colder into the course of next weekend, perhaps lasting for 8 to 10 days or so, right up to the end of January, but then things probably starting to turn a little milder as we get into the very early stages of February, but still unsettled throughout, and also the risk of some snow during that colder spell in January. But as I stress, not widespread, the risk is just there. So I'll leave you with that for now, but thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out the Fast Forecast with Gary. But whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.